Hello, this is the China Brief, the most comprehensive coverage about China and its impact on the world. Today is February 4, 2023. China is providing the technology Moscow's military needs to wage war in Ukraine despite an international cordon of sanctions and export controls, according to a review of Russian customs data by the Wall Street Journal. The majority of the dual-use goods imported by Russia, products that have both commercial and military applications, are from China. While Russia is capable of producing much of its basic military needs, it relies heavily on imports for dual-use technology. However, Russia is still able to import the technology through countries that haven't joined the US-led effort to cut off Moscow from global markets, with many of the export-controlled products flowing through nations such as Turkey and the UAE, who are accused of flouting the sanctions and controls. The official Russian customs records analyzed by the journal showed Chinese state-owned and private companies as the dominant exporters of dual-use goods that are of concern to the U.S. Why China's crazy mega-rich are moving their wealth and partying to Singapore. Ultra-wealthy Chinese families are moving to Singapore to protect their wealth from the Communist Party's increased suspicion and recent crackdowns, according to a report by the South China Morning Post. Singapore has low taxes, a stable one-party rule, and an ethnic Chinese majority, making it a desirable location for relocating tycoons. New arrivals are driving luxury cars, living in luxury homes, and frequenting top-tier golf clubs. Setting up family offices in Singapore puts their wealth beyond the reach of Beijing and ensures its safety for future generations. The number of family offices in Singapore has increased from 400 in 2020 to 700 in 2021, and the outflow is expected to continue despite the lifting of China's strict COVID policies. Singapore is viewed as a neutral zone for business and has managed to maintain good relations with both Washington and Beijing. U.S. tipped to reschedule Blinken's China trip once balloon turbulence dies down, analysts. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's trip to China has been postponed due to a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that was reportedly flying over U.S. territory. China's top diplomat, Wang Yi, urged all parties to avoid speculation and misjudgment and called for the handling of the situation in a calm and professional manner. The Chinese Foreign Ministry also stated that some U.S. politicians and media have used the incident to smear China, which it opposes. Observers believe that Blinken's trip may be rescheduled once the controversy dies down and both sides are keen on continuing high-level dialogue. The Biden administration is under pressure from Republicans to take a tough stance on China over the incident. The balloon controversy has raised questions about China's intentions and whether it was conducting surveillance in U.S. airspace. China's real estate crisis isn't over yet, IMF says. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has stated that China needs to do more to resolve its real estate issues. The property market is a significant contributor to China's GDP and has been a hindrance to growth, particularly after the crackdown on developers' high debt reliance in 2020. The IMF's Thomas Helbling has noted that while recent policy measures to ease restrictions on financing for the sector are welcomed, further action is needed to end the real estate crisis, especially for property developers facing severe financial difficulties and the issue of the large stock of unfinished housing. Helbling also called for measures to address the large stock of unfinished apartments, or the sector will remain a risk to the economy and constrain households. The IMF report followed annual discussions with Chinese officials that ended in November, but the officials rejected the IMF's real estate assessment and stated that the property market is not in a crisis situation.